There are more big events this month for Perth's resources and energy sector beginning September the 18th. The Future of Mining and MiningNews Select conferences run across 2 days, and for what's on offer, I'm joined by Cann, who's Group Managing Editor for the event organiser Aspermont, as well as a panellist for the event, Lowell Resources Funds Management Chief Investment Officer John Forwood. John, welcome to you both.
Hi, Sonia. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Sonia. Nice to be speaking with you.
Now, John, to you first. You'll be part of the opening panel, which will explore events shaping commodity markets. What can delegates expect to learn from this?
There's a number of interesting people on that panel. I'm looking forward to hearing their thoughts. But some of the factors that we will be talking about, if time allows, I think one of the main ones from my point of view is volatility of markets, both equity markets and commodity markets. That's probably one thing we can be confident of. Everything else is uncertain, but I'm pretty certain that volatility is here to stay, and it's probably a growing factor. Probably we'll speak about China. Economic indicators there are bad, particularly in the property sector, but it's surprising that we're seeing strength in both the iron ore price and the oil price, driven by, in large part, the Chinese economy. So there's some conflicting data there, I think. Other things that we might touch on in the panel, talk about the impact of climate change, the impact of reshoring and friendshoring for supply chains for critical minerals. And then, related to that, we might speak about the US Inflation Reduction Act and the money that's available for the sector from that.
Now, you mentioned there volatility. Do you see that being across every commodity, or will it impact some more than others? How do you expect to see that playing out?
Obviously, some commodities are more volatile than others. Historically, nickel has been extremely one of the most volatile metals. But we've seen it in lithium in particular, and that's a market darling at the moment.
Now, John, we're hearing a lot about critical minerals and green energy initiatives, but let's not forget our traditional gold and iron ore too. What trends are you noting through your roles?
Gold is rather unloved, but particularly in the junior exploration space. And we're hearing quotes such as, you can't make solar panels out of gold. Some people would think the gold mining industry is a waste of time and carbon. By the same token, the Aussie dollar gold price is at nearly $3,000 an ounce. Aussie gold producers are making lots of money, and that's led to M&A, and that's something that we'll see more of, particularly the producers looking to add to their reserves or restock their reserves. So that's something that we'll see. And iron ore, look, as mentioned, the price has remained remarkably strong despite the bad data out of the Chinese property sector. We think that could be an indicator that perhaps things in China are not as bad as some of the commentators might have us believe.
To you now, Chris, and there's a fair list of companies participating in the event, aren't there?
Yes, Sonia, we've capped it at 30. Basically. So as you know, it's the first year we run this event in Australia. And so the focus is very much on the quality of what we deliver. So rather than go too big, we're focused on making sure that the investment community that we attract has got that one-to-one time with the management team. So we've capped it at 30. Once the event gets traction in future years, I very much expect it to grow, but at the moment the focus is on keeping it tight and keeping the quality up.
And I understand there's a unique opportunity for investors and companies at your event. Can you tell us about that?
From our perspective, Sonia, these events are important. I think in the investing landscape at the moment, there's a lot of social investing, particularly in the retail space, and that's fantastic. It's a new opportunity, but can also be quite fickle. So I think having these events where you're face-to-face with management teams is important. MiningNews Select, its structure, it is by its nature, as the name suggests, it's a select event. We vet the investors that are coming along, and so they are all authentic investors. I think a lot of conferences these days, it's a much bigger format. There's a lot of open booth space, and investors are competing with service providers, probably other companies, to get time with the management teams that they want to speak to. So It's a concierge service for MiningNews Select. It's one-to-one meetings and it's dedicated time with those groups. So I think that's a really important point to get across.
So what's your event pitch? Why is this a must-attend event?
On a general level, Sonia, at the moment, as John alluded to, we've got this short-term focus on managing risk and volatility and a lot of uncertainty, but it's kind of juxtaposed to this broader long-term narrative around transitioning to a cleaner energy future and all the metals that requires. And obviously the huge opportunity to be in investing in the resources space longer term and holding these stocks. And so events like MiningNews Select provide the opportunity to see some of these small cap companies that are strongly leveraged to those, that upswing, the structural upswing that we would see coming in the resources sector and commodity prices, and getting in, speaking to management teams, getting that first-hand view, understanding how to manage the risks, and then taking a position ahead of the rest of the market. That's the real opportunity.
Is it too late for companies and investors to come along?
Yes and no. So yes, it is too late on the companies. As we said, we have capped it at 30. We're quite strict on that. From an investor side, absolutely come and get involved. At the moment, I think we're probably looking at about 250 registered investors from retail up into all these small institutional groups, and they're all there for that reason, because they see a strong content program that our media side is backing, but also that opportunity to take that position now, kind of before it's too late, before we get into that upswing. And we will suggest that there's a strong case for other investors to consider doing that as well. Any investors that are interested in coming along, it's absolutely not too late. We'd love you to be there. Just need to go to the MiningNews Select website, which is just miningnewsselect.net. And there's registration forms there. Very, very simple process. So get involved.
Now, before we go, John, you're a fund manager at the event. What will you be looking for?
To what the next lithium might be. To put it bluntly, we've seen a fantastic run. Lithium stocks have been the market darling, and justifiably so, given the amount of money the lithium producers such as Pilbara Minerals and IGO are making at the moment. It's certain that there'll be other commodities that enter a boom, and trying to work out what the next one will be.
Well, thank you both so much for your insights. John Forwood from Lowell Resources Fund and Aspermont's Chris Cann. I'll see you both at the event at the Pan Pacific in Perth on the 18th and 19th of this month.
Thanks, Sonia.
Thanks, Sonia.